you doing? ArnieCAP here. I know it looks like Ernest Hemingway. I'm getting an early start on No Shave November. I got to catch up to guys like Kenny Gaddis and who else has got those big beards out there? Travis has got a big beard out there. I got to catch up to these guys. I'm going to try to make it all the way through November, and let's see if the Italian stallion here can get some shrubbery going. Anyway, welcome to October week three HubCAP update. Just want to get you guys caught up on how we're doing on the month and some of the things that we need to be focused on as this month comes to an end and we roll into the backside of Q4. So I've got my computer here. I've got some slides that I'm looking at. I'm going to slide these in. I'll put some pictures up so you can see what I'm looking at. And we're going to cover a bunch of topics. Go ahead and get a pad out and a pen if you want to keep some notes, because this one could get a little lengthy. Let's talk about performance. Let's take a look at the performance slide right now. So it's a mixed bag. Last week wasn't an amazing week. I mean, we were 12% up over last year in sales, but we missed budget by 7%. So clearly we had budgeted way up to make the week. On the month, we're 7% up over last year, 6% down to budget. So a 13% swing there on this year versus last year versus this year's budget. $10 up on SPG, $12 down the budget, and quite frankly, the biggest concern as I see when it comes to performance is this $13 miss that we're having in furniture because bedding is up and protection and delivery are essentially flat. But we're $13 down in the furniture and RLL category, and we'll take a look at that. Margin looks good, 51%. We were budgeted for 50.2, so margin looks really good. Staff to guest, we're going to talk about that. We're at 80%. We really should be at 85, and I'm gonna talk about staffing in just a moment. But what I can tell you is this. We've got some real significant gaps coming into Black Friday and coming into Q1. And I got to tell you guys and gals, we can't do it. We can't survive Q1 if we're understaffed. This happens every year. We just can't survive it. And then 60, that leads into this capture rate of 65%. So some real opportunity when it comes to staffing. And we are all about staffing. I mean, as a sales organization, we're not in charge of marketing. We're not in charge of merchandising. We're not in charge of the post-transaction experience. We are in charge of making sure that we have the right people on the floor. And the right people means the right number of people and the right quality of people on the floor serving guests. And right now, we've got 65% capture rate and 80% staff to guest, which means as people merchants, we've got holes on the floor. Let's take a look at the SPG trend. You can see that we're still on a nice climb throughout the year, taking off from that Q1 miss, or I would say it wasn't a miss because obviously we were ahead in Q1 of last year, but we certainly did have a rough start. A lot of that due to staffing, a lot of that due to weather. But you can see how last year kind of played out in SPG with a slight lift, and now this year we're creating a bigger gap compared to LY performance. So real happy with that trend. I want to see us land SPG on the year over 355. 355 is the budget. We're at 353 right now, so we're $2 away from making our budget for the year and making up what we fell short of at the beginning of the year. Category SPG. So we got to get our arms around what's happening with our bedroom groups. And I've asked Andrew to take a look at this. We're just not selling bedrooms the way we did last year. This month, we're basically $2 down, but we're $9 to budget. And we obviously anticipated that we were going to get some nice SPG dollars out of the bedroom category. But you can see in bedrooms, we're down $9. to budget. In dining, we're down $4 to budget. In upholstery, we're down $4 to budget. So what does that mean? Well, from a selling-centric perspective, it means we're not converting, right? And if you look at the conversion rate on the far right of the screen, it just means we're not converting from a selling perspective. From a guest perspective, it means they're not digging our chili when it comes to what we're showing. So I don't know, is it the assortment? Is it salesmanship? Is it that we're short-staffed? I'm not sure where to pin it down to, but from my perspective, I'm gonna hang my hat on being short-staffed, okay? 65% capture rate, 80% staff to guest. And we're not comfortable selling some of these categories, and maybe it's the extended ATP dates, or maybe it's placement on the floor, maybe it's the quality, maybe you just haven't had a good eye on, and it's the physical experience with the product. But we got to get into these three categories because we're dropping $10 to $15 every month coming from those categories. Moving on. So how do we win out October? Well, we've got a Reconnects event coming up on Thursday, right? So sales managers, build that Reconnects platform. 5, that's the number, 5 per salesperson. Reconnects for that Thursday. So what I would be doing is I would build 5 Reconnects for that Thursday and then build another 5 Reconnects for the weekend. You do that and you will crush this thing. We've got a Midnight Madness event on the 26th. Another great opportunity for Reconnects. We're currently still in our semi-annual sale, but then we go into the Midnight Madness event before we cycle into November, and then we've got Black Friday coming up. Now, I don't have anything to tell you about Black Friday yet, but I can tell you that Todd's got some really juicy things brewing in his marketing pot, as it were, his cauldron, right? Getting ready for Halloween. So we'll release a bunch of Black Friday information for you shortly. Moving along. So we just finished our 21-day fix, apps to guest. And as you can see on the slide here, we landed at 7.93. I was shooting for 8%. Actually, the WIG was 10%. The MAS was 8%. We fell 7 bips short. Had a nice increase over the previous period, previous 90 days, where 118 bips, 1.2% ahead of the previous 90-day trend. And relative to last year, we were 126 bips ahead of last year. Congratulations, Cool Hand Region, for coming in at 10.5%. Congratulations, Wing Nation, for coming in at 9.52. And then, of course, congratulations to everybody else for the lift that they got. Some nice, healthy lift there. Look at Joey, 144 bip increase over previous period last year, period to date. So we're going to move into a new 21-day challenge. We're moving to mattress SPG. So the way this is going to work is we're going to continue with the apps to guest campaign, and we're going to layer on top of it a mattress SPG campaign. So the reports that I'm going to be sending out every morning at 4:30 in the morning are going to be both reports. And if you look in the upper left-hand corner, you can see now in the previous 90 days, we're up against a 7.4% apps to guest, and you can see where the regions landed. Previous period, we were at 6.9%, so we've got to beat that. So 8% apps to guest would be the MAS, and I absolutely believe that's achievable. And then you got mattress SPG. Over the previous 90 days, we ran a $71.54 mattress SPG. Previous period, last year this time, for the next 21 days, we ran a $70.51. And the way this is going to be set up is if you're below $70, you're going to be in the red. If you're between 70 and 85, you're going to be in the black. And if you're above 85, you'll be in the gold. And in the middle of the screen there, you'll see apps to ups by store, previous 90 and previous period, and then mattress SPG by store, previous 90, and previous period. This will give you some relative perspective, some proximity on what it is that you are looking to shoot for. But again, just go for those gold levels and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. President's Club. Who's coming to Mexico? Who's coming to Mexico? Well, you can see on the left side of this screen, these are the top 10 stores. Now, we're taking 7. We're taking 7. So if this plays out, you'll have South Haven, Cookeville, Columbia, Terre Haute, which would be Shana Pine. I think she lets me call her Shana, even though it's Shanna. Shana Pine. She says, I'm the only one who can call her Shana. She will sit in for Terre Haute because she carried that ball. Tupelo, it's going to be a toss-up between Jeff Rogers and Chad Province because they split the year. So whoever ends up with the strongest SPG out of the split year, first half of the year, second half of the year, the winner will take that, just so you guys know. You got Chattanooga is in the mix, and then JPAV is in the mix. And then the runners up would be Avon, Murfreesboro, and Chris Wright over there in J-Town. Very excited about that trip. By the way, it's slated for the first week of February. How about the salespeople? Well, here's the list of the salespeople who are tracking to go on this trip. If you do $1 million, you're going on this trip. If you're highlighted in green, it means you've already won the trip. So congratulations. Robert Lewis, Mark Dickinson, Mickey Honorary, Charles Hayden, Patrick Giroux, Aaron Rosen, Evan Oswald, Bethany Molika, Chris Holmes, Martin Fitzgerald, and Cameron Schwinn. They are already going to Mexico. Congratulations, boys and girls. And the rest of you, you are within a shot of it. Strong Black Friday and strong Veterans Day, and it's a done deal. So this is who is slated to trend to go on the Mexico trip. So 12 minutes in, some odds and ends. Managers, settle in. Get your AOP calculators all set. We're going to fly those in so they're sitting right on your desktop on your tablets. So the AOP calculators will be there. Your elevator pitches, get those set up on the Q drive so we can be tracking them. Now's a great time to set up those planners that Chad gave us. Patty and Jolene are going to be setting up some training videos for us on how to use those planners, but this is a great time to settle into those planners. If you recall, there's actually some video training on YouTube on how to use those planners, so you can get started on that. Review your notes from the summit, right? Those moments that really kind of impacted you. And I'm not talking about the breakout sessions. I'm talking about Chad's sessions, the ones where he really kind of gets inside your skull and gets you thinking about stuff. Label your doubts, your life moments, your commitments. Post up your final commitments that when we did the big circle recap at the end of the meeting, what were your final commitments? Write those down and post them up in your office or somewhere where you and your staff can see it. And then, of course, don't forget, we got to get ready for Black Friday. We got to get ready for Black Friday and Q1. So I've got Jenna and Cynthia Benson strategizing some recruiting efforts and getting everybody ready for Q1. Well, for Black Friday and then Q1. So that's it from me. 14 minutes into this thing. And I'm really excited about this week because I think this week with the Reconnects event, and the Midnight Madness event, we are just going to crush this week. We're going to get October back on the map. And we're gonna do some nice things. If you go back to the slide that has the marketing calendar on it, you'll see that we have to do $5.5 million this week, which is flat to last year, and we're actually budgeted down on SPG from 354 last year to 350 this year, and then we're layering in these events, so it should be a massive week. It should be absolutely incredible. So that's it. I'm ArnieCAP. You're watching the HubCAP, and let's finish October strong and be a difference maker.